All right, welcome to 6.4. We're going to solve two-step equations that we wrote in the last lesson. So before that, we're going to practice on one-step equations. So we're going to subtract, if it's add 13, you subtract 13 from both sides. 25 minus 13, x equals 12. If it's subtract 4.3, you add 4.3 to both sides. That's called doing inverse operations. And then we have 19.4 equals x. If it's 2 times x equals 54, 2 is multiplying x, so we divide both sides. Now, if you can't do 54 divided by 2 in your head, which not everyone can, and so it is 27. So this is called side work. You really want to avoid side work. If you don't have to do it, don't do it, right? And x is being divided by 3, so we're going to multiply by 3. This is a perfect example. I don't want you to come over here and do 14 times 3 over there. I want you to do it right there. All right, 14 times 3, 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. X equals 42. Those are all one-step equations, right? There's 4 operations. What you do is always the inverse of what you see in the problem. Okay, so we're going to do two-step equations. And we're going to start the same way we just basically start a one step. If it's subtract, you add to both sides. All right. So the first step to solve the two-step is to get rid of that constant on the same side as x. So find the constant and get rid of it. Right? There's two constants, 6 and 20. We want to get rid of the one that's on the same side that x is on. So it's plus 6, we subtract 6 from both sides. 2x equals 14. Now that's all we're going to do in this. We'll solve them fully on the next screen, but you can see that, hopefully you can see that x is 7. 2 times 7 is 14. All right, let's do it again. Where's the constant? Well, x moved to the other side, so did the constant, so it's add 1, so we subtract 1 from both sides of the equal sign. Some teachers actually make you write this border. I don't make you do that, but if it helps you, write that. Now it's minus 7, so you're going to add 7, right? Because negative 7 plus 7 is 0, to both sides of the equal sign. It turns out on the other side is just a 4, but we have x divided by 3 equals 4 plus 7, 11. And then last, all right, now this is the tricky one, right? Now the constant is the 6, right? And this plus actually goes with the 5x. This one is tricky because the reason most people say, well, I subtract 6, but it has nothing to do with that plus sign. It doesn't. It has to do with the fact that it's positive 6. If it was negative 6, you'd add. All right, so you'd subtract 6 from both sides. 26 minus, let me clean this up a little bit. 26 minus 6 is 20, and then this 5x plus 5x turns into positive 5x. And we'll talk more about that. Okay, so that's step 1 of a two-step. We did step 1 4 times. Notice every single time we added or subtracted. That's all you do in step 1. You never multiply or divide in step 1. All right, so now we're going to do the whole thing. So it's subtract 5, so we add 5 to both sides of the equal sign. We get 3x equals 12. That's step 1. It's always adding or subtracting. And step 2 is always multiplying or dividing. X will be multiplied by 3, so we divide both sides by 3. First time to cross it out, and x equals 4. Step 2 is really solving equations from the last lesson, multiplying and dividing equations. You'll always be multiplying or dividing in step 2. All right, so let's do that again. All right, so constant is 2, it's subtract 2, so we add 2 to both sides of the equation. 9 equals x divided by 8. X is being divided by 8, so we're going to multiply by 8 both sides. This time to cross it out, 9 times 8 to get the answer. 9 times 8 is 72. 72 equals x. Do not need to spin it around. We have a plus 3 in this one, so we subtract 3 from both sides. We have x divided by 4 equals 9 minus 3 equals 6. X is being divided by 4, so we're going to multiply by 4 both sides. And you can do it that way since you can do this in your head. 6 times 4 is 24. one more time. It's plus 4, so we subtract 4 from both sides of the equal sign. 14 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2, and 7 equals x. And that's what your homework should look like this, right? With the work that I see there. You give me a homework with a bunch of answers and no work, throw it in the garbage because it's worthless. Because I'm trying to teach you a method here because we're much more complicated ones coming. In 7th grade, 6th grade, this may have been the hardest ones you do. This is like the 3rd lesson of this unit, or 4th lesson. You know, we're going way harder than this, right? You're learning this method so we can use it on other things. Okay, it's minus 7.4, so let's add 7.4 to both sides. 6 plus 4 is 10, carry the 1. Oh, we got 10.0, so I'm going to clean that up a little bit. 10 equals, right, because we don't need 0.0. All right, and it equals x divided by 3. X is being divided by 3, so we multiply both sides by 3, and 30 equals x. Yeah, now let's understand, this is called the solution. We talked about that the other day, right? We solve an equation, we get the solution. This is the one number that will go there and make it true. 2.6 equals 30 divided by 3 minus 7.4. If you do 30 divided by 3, it's 10. 10 minus 7.4, borrowing, it does equal 2.6. Okay, that is the only number that makes all the math work out, the solution. All right, so now we're going to combine this with the previous lesson, right? We're going to write the equation, and on your test, you're going to have ones where I just wrote the word test because I said it out loud. You write the equation, then you solve it. All right, so we learned to write this. It's a total of 30 inches. We have two sides that are 4, and then we have this 2L. L plus L, right, plus 4 plus 4 equals 30. Then we clean this up a little bit here. Excuse me. And so we have 2L plus 8 equals 30, right? So that's our two-step equation. We're going to subtract 8 from both sides. 2L equals 22, divide both sides by 2, and L equals 11 inches. Okay, so that's 11 inches, and that's 11 inches. And let's understand, we said the perimeter is 30, so those 4 numbers better add up to 30, and they do. Apples cost $12 for a 4-pound bag, all right? They're $12 for a 4-pound bag. So how much do they cost? They cost $3 per pound. That's our rate, all right? We need that. You had to calculate it. Remember how these go. They go, so to write this equation, it's blank times, we're using P for pounds of apples, plus blank equals blank, okay? And total goes on the last one. The total here is the total is $99. We have to pay a $60 membership fee this time. And now the rate is what goes in front of the letter, and it's 3, right? It's $3 per pound. You can't put the 12 there, that's not a rate. Neither is the 4. It's $12 for a 4-pound bag, right? The easy ones, you'll be given this number, the 3. In the harder ones like this, you have to figure out the number. So now let's clean up this equation a little bit, and because we're going to solve it today, we wrote it yesterday. 60 equals 99, and so a little sloppy. And so let's do that. We subtract 60 from both sides. 3p, 99 minus 60 is 39. Divide both sides by 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12, so 39 divided by 3 is 13, and this is 13 pounds, right? So word problem should have a word on it, right? So, right, these apples are $3 per pound each, and so if you spent $99 and you paid the fee that day, it must be the first time you've ever gone, or it's the first time this year you've ever gone, so you've paid your membership fee. You spent $99 on 13 pounds of apples. But that's why people don't go to Costco and buy one thing ever, right? Because $99 for just 13 pounds of apples is very, very expensive. Okay, so let's practice here. All right, so it's add 13, so we subtract 13 from both sides. X divided by 9 equals 5. X is being divided by 9, so you multiply both sides by 9. X equals 45. It's subtract 53, so we add 53 to both sides. 84 equals 7x. X is being multiplied by 7, so you divide by 7 both sides. 12 equals x. Now see how fast I'm doing these. It's faster than doing it in your head, and that's what's going to happen to you as well. All right, so now, again, that plus goes with the x divided by 4, but we are going to subtract this 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. All right, that is that tricky case I talked about earlier. All right, but most people get it right. They just don't realize why they get it right. It's x divided by 4 equals 8 minus 3, 5. X is being divided by 4, so you multiply both sides by 4. X equals 20. Next, we have subtract 7, so we add 7 to both sides. 2x equals 25. Divide both sides by 2. Well, 24 divided by 2 is 12. So you could say 12 and a half here. You could say 25 halves. That's simplified. You could say 12 and a half. But knowing most students, they learn to hate fractions, which is foolish because they're not that bad. And so they always make things decimals. 2 into 5 goes 2. And remember, decimal straight up, 0 straight down. 12 and a half as a decimal is 12.5. You do not have to give me all three. Any of those is good. 25 halves is good. Right? You can't give me 54ths. Why can't you give me 54ths? Because it's not simplified. But you can always give me 25 halves as an answer. All right, we're practicing. We're adding 12.7 to both sides. 3 plus 7 is 10. We line up our decimal points when we're adding or subtracting. So we have 28 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4, and we're not going to write 7.0 for sure. We're going to write 7 equals x. All right, Martin was a waiter who was paid at a rate of $12 per hour. So we gave you the rate, right? The 12 goes right in front of the hours we work. He already earned $75 in tips and $207 total. Right? The total is over on the right. The constant, the thing that already happened, he already got these tips. They're already there. And the rate, in this case, it's given to you. This is an easy one. $12 per hour has to go in front of the letter. You subtract 75 from both sides. 12h. And this when I wrote that underlining, makes it look like division. So let's get rid of that because it makes it look like division when it's not. And so we're going to do 2, and we're going to borrow, and we're going to get 132. We're going to divide both sides by 12. 132 divided by 12 is 11, and what is this 11? H stood for hours, and that's why you use H instead of X, because I couldn't remember what I was talking about. Oh, I'm talking about hours, H for hours. Final question, right? We have L plus 9 plus 9, and this time it was up to 50, which is 2L plus 18 equals 50. We subtract 18 from both sides, and so be careful. On the test, you're going to be asked to write it and solve it. You want to solve it some other way. The problem is you're going to lose the points for writing it. You have been warned. And so 2 and 32 divided by 2 both sides. I'm getting 16 centimeters for both of these lengths. And if you add up all those in 4 numbers, they better add up to 50. All right, good luck on the homework.